Hello. Today we are going to check some level of automation, okay, regarding the EC2 instances provisioning. We know how to provision or how to launch EC2 instances. To launch an EC2 instance, we either we search in the search area EC2, or if we already added EC2 in the favorites, we can click here. So this is the EC2 launch page. How we used to create the EC2 instance, like we will click on that launch instances drop down and select the first option, but we never utilize the launch instance from template. This is what we are going to learn today. Okay, I'm clicking on launch template, or there is another option here as well, launch template. This will this will actually point to a different page. Basically what this will do, so when you provision an EC2 instance, you have to provide a lot of information, like the instance types, the AMI, which subnet you are going to provision, and the CPU type, memory type. I mean, basically the instance type, and the NIC card properties. What else? The user data script, user data, plus we will select whether we need an IP address or not, public IP address or not. So there are a lot many options we use to select for provisioning or creating an EC2 instance. If you are working for an organization, and there might be a lot of departments. Suppose each time you are getting a request for provisioning the EC2 instance, most of the parameters or configurations are like a repeating configuration. Suppose you are responsible for creating EC2 instance for a finance department. Okay, so for a finance department, there are some predefined criteria. Finance department may be always using an uh, Amazon Linux with the T2 micro, and it is always going to a particular subnet. Okay, there are some predefined configuration. So and you don't need to perform the same task whenever you launch the EC2 instance. If you don't want to perform, you want to automate all those predefined configuration for launching an EC2 instance, you can use the launch template. I'll show you how to do this. So I'm going to the launch template and clicking on the create launch template menu. So this is the naming area where I can provide the template name. Okay, suppose if I'm creating this launch template for finance department, so let me name, for better identification, finance EC2 template. That's it. Based on your requirement you can name. Okay, and the version, so this is the first template I'm going to create. I'm adding 1.0, and if I'm doing any some modification, I can make it as 1.1 or 1.2. That's it. Okay, now let's move to the auto scaling guidance. Suppose if you are creating a template and that template is being used for the auto scaling, it's a new technology or new technique that I will tell you after creating the launch template. So let's not select this particular option. I will tell you how to integrate the auto scaling, how to integrate the launch template with the auto scaling group. So during that time we can check this box so that auto scaling features will be enabled. So right now I'm not checking this box. Template tag, this is again for identification and grouping. So here I'm going to add department, like finance, and if you want to add which project, I'm adding project, and this is for beta. It's just for tagging, not a big deal for us. Okay, and here I can select the operating system. Again, you can create an launch template without operating system. That's it. So during the launch it will prompt which operating system you want to attach, image you want to attach. That's it. So as I have selected for our demo, I have selected Amazon Linux. Then the image properties, instance type, I'm selecting T2 micro, which is the free tier eligible. Key pair is very important. Without key pair, you won't be able to connect to the instance. And network setting. Okay. Like if you are using the launch template for an auto scaling group, auto scale in the sense if your instance is having some issues, like it is the maybe the process CPU utilization or memory utilization is high, or the instance is having some issues, where exactly the auto scaling, using the auto scaling, where exactly we want to launch the EC2 instance. So in such cases, we won't select the subnet. Since we are going to show you, and since I'm going to show you a demo, I'm going to select which subnet I want to launch this instance. Suppose my finance department is in the default subnet, the default subnet 1A. I'm selecting the default subnet 1A. So when I launch this template, when I'm using this template to launch the instance, basically the instance will get provisioned in this default subnet 1A. That's the meaning. If I'm going to use this template for along with the auto scaling group, I'm not supposed to select anything here. Auto scaling group will handle this particular section. So if you have enabled this check mark, where yeah, if you have enabled this check mark, you should leave this particular section empty. Okay, empty in the sense don't include in the launch template. That's the only thing you have to be noted. You have to note. And suppose if I'm going to regarding the security group, suppose if I'm logging using SSH, and a website is running on this box, I can enable SSH and HTTP. However, I have created an already a security group with the RDP, SSH and HTTP. I'm mapping the, the currently available security group. In fact, this RDP is not needed. Okay. However, I am mapping the already created security group to this instance, to this launch template. So okay, then I'm going to the storage section. I'm leaving the storage part default because I don't want to change anything. 8 GB is sufficient for our demo. Again, you can add more tags. So summary, look into the summary please. Amazon Linux 2023. This is the image details, this is the instance details, and security groups, the hardware, I mean the storage. So now you can launch this template. Clicking on launch template does not initiate the initiate the EC2 instance creation. This particular configuration will get saved. So the name which we provided was finance EC2 template. I'm going to click on create launch template. Okay, let's go back to the launch template homepage. Now there is a launch template ID, launch template LT. This is a unique ID, and this is the name which we provided. Currently only one version available, and that is the latest version. This is the date and time which we created the launch template. Okay, now let's go back to the instances section. Suppose if you want to provision, if you got a request from IT department or from finance department stating please create an EC2 instance. Okay, so basically for all the EC2 instance used by the finance department is having the configuration which we mentioned in the launch template. Let's go to the launch instances and select the launch instance from the template. So in the drop down, select the template which we created. So basically this will pull out all the configuration which we mentioned during the template creation. See, it automatically pulled out all the details. Now it's very simple. Click on launch template. Also you can specify how much instance you want. If you want 10 instances, provide 10 and click launch instance. That's it. It's very simple and easy to use. Okay, if you are the person for responsible for creating an EC2 instances for your enterprise, maybe you will be having a lot of department, you can create multiple launch templates for each department so that you can save time. Also, I believe this will reduce the human error. Maybe By mistake you might be selecting a wrong there are chances, right? You might be selecting wrong instance type or wrong configuration, and after launching only you will come to know, sorry, I have provisioned a wrong configuration. You will delete it and you again. But all those issues can be resolved using the launch template. It will save time and you can maintain the accuracy. So let's go back to the instances section. Let us see our instance is now initializing. As simple it is. So this is the launch template feature under EC2 service. Hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, or if you want, please comment in my video. I will glad to respond for your queries.